Last legislative session, Texas lawmakers passed 7 laws focused on the LGBTQ plus community. Now, those laws are getting attention from the United Nations. Advocacy groups petitioned the UN, claiming the laws violate federal and international human rights laws. Our Tom Miller talked with the Hill reporter Brooke Migden for insight into the move and what the groups hope the UN will do.
Who are these 4 groups that filed a petition with the UN, and what are the laws that they're pushing back against?
The groups are 4 national and state LGBTQ rights groups, including Equality Texas and the Human Rights Campaign. They allege that 7 laws passed by the legislature last year target LGBTQ people in violation of federal and international human rights law. Those laws that they're pushing back against include the state's gender-affirming healthcare ban for transgender minors, a law preventing public universities from maintaining DEI programs, a law barring transgender athletes from competing in college sports, restrictions on drag performances, and a law that enables schools to potentially ban LGBTQ library books. The groups say that taken together, these bills represent a systemic attack on the fundamental rights of LGBTQ people.
And with this petition going to the UN, what are they hoping the UN does about these Texas laws?
They're hoping that the UN will intervene by issuing a public statement on the bills and also recommending to the state and federal governments that these bills be repealed. The groups in their letter also requested that the UN encourage the Texas government and federal government to pass stronger anti-discrimination laws. The UN has already expressed some concern about anti-LGBTQ legislation in the US. So it does make sense that they would appeal to the UN on this issue. A UN committee in December said it was concerned by the rapid spread of bills restricting the rights of LGBTQ people nationwide, and that certainly includes Texas.
And it's not just Texas that's being targeted here in this letter, also critical of the federal government. What's the criticism there?
The criticism is that the Biden administration has not done enough to protect LGBTQ people from these state-level attacks on their identities. Biden has certainly done a lot for the LGBTQ community through executive action. He frequently calls out attacks against the trans community in particular. In speeches and public comments. But the groups in this letter say that more substantive action needs to be taken. They say that the lack of meaningful action by the Biden administration may actually constitute a violation of a UN treaty from the 1960s that commits nations to protect and preserve basic human rights.
All right, reporter Brooke Migden with The Hill, we appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
In 2023, Texas lawmakers filed a historic number of bills impacting the LGBTQ plus community, 141 in all. Those bills led to intense debate and loud protests at the state capitol, and as you've seen, the battles are still being fought. Our investigative project Outlaw looks at the connection between those proposals and a 50-year-old state law banning homosexual conduct. Texas is one of only a few states yet to repeal that law. We explore why the statute remains, the fight over its enforceability, and efforts to end the law. You can watch the full docuseries online now. Just look for the Outlaw link in this week's State of Texas story right now on our website. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle, and we'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.